So, it's been about a week since Endfield launched, and this is the fourth time I've sat down to record audio for this video. Because every time I hit record, finish recording, go to edit, I always get distracted playing Endfield. So I'm hoping fourth time's a charm, and I do not get stuck in the loop again, because that's apparently how it goes. So this is going to be just kind of a ramble core video, me gushing about Endfield because I've been waiting for it for like 2 years. And it's nice to finally have it in my hands. So, yeah, without further ado, graphically, the game is gorgeous. The environmental design is top-notch. I love the way the hub looks. The like sleek white buildings with all the grime built up on them, the pops of color with the green and the magenta and the cyan and the yellows in their accents. It's all fantastic. I am a big fan of Wuling. I've always had kind of a soft spot for East Asian, like Korean, Chinese, Japanese architecture. And having the traditional architecture kind of fused with the more futuristic aspect of everything is gorgeous. It's breathtaking. Like, all of Wuling I find is breathtaking. But especially like just outside of Wuling City, where you have all the pillars, the defense system. I can't remember the name. Ooh, even the bamboo forest. Everything's just so nice there. And the way the rain hits, like the way the rain is rendered on your characters, that's gorgeous. Like everything about everything is gorgeous about this game, and I love it. The story is, I found chapter 1 a little rough for a couple of reasons. First, cutscenes felt a little stiff. There was a few times I felt not the cutscenes themselves, rather kind of like the talking scenes where they weren't pre-rendered. I found them to be a little stiff, where characters didn't really move too much. The camera didn't do too much. And some of the voice acting was off, especially, yeah, it was more noticeable with like Wolfguard or the voice actors that didn't have, or like presumably English is not their first language, and that's completely fine. Just kind of took me out of the moment. But then, on that note, like with Wolfguard and his sister, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, towards the end of Act 1, where they are fighting off Landbreakers, I believe it was. Where they speak to each other in Italian was a really, really cool moment. I really like that. Otherwise, I think my biggest gripe with Chapter 1 is the sort of repetition where they always repeat, like, oh, the AIC and the PAC are crucial to helping everybody out, and it's such a milestone in Enfield Industries, and it got real tiring real fast. And to a lesser extent, the administrator glazing. It's like, oh, how the admin's the greatest person in the Civilization band. And, like, both of them were grading. I think the Endmin one less so, because they came in with the expectation of the administrator is sort of this kind of heroic figure that only appears at, like, major crises. So I could kind of, like, understand that, but then the constant repetition of the AIC just made it felt like they were trying to drill it into my head, and made me feel like they didn't necessarily respect the attention span of the player. Chapter 2, I find, is a lot better. Just better written. I don't think there were as many moments where it was like, oh, it's the AIC again. Of course, they mentioned at the beginning where, like, oh, the AIC is going to help out. But it feels like there was a lot less moments like that where I kind of rolled my eyes at mention of it. The cutscenes. Oh, the cutscenes are fantastic. Like, even the talking ones, where the non-pre-rendered ones where they're just standing around talking, feel a lot more dynamic. Where there's always, like, a character in the background kind of shifting around. But especially like the Tong Tong cutscenes were a blast to watch. The character designs are gorgeous, especially the reconveners. They done them so much justice and they look great. I have more to say. I don't know why I took that pause. Yeah, no, the reconveners, the characters in general are gorgeous. The reconveners, I love the looks of. I love their glow-ups. They're fantastic. I was going to say Surtur, but Lavatane looks great. Angelina, or Gilberta, looks fantastic. Ardelia is great. And everybody has such pretty eyes. Like, holy shit. Everybody's gorgeous. Of course, there are a couple of designs that I think fall kind of flat, where they're a little more generic. I think the Fisherman, and to a lesser extent Japan, kind of enter that sort of generic area. Similar to, I guess, Jay and Plume, where the designs are a little unassuming in the grand scheme of things. Japan, to a lesser extent, just because I think the novelty of a panda in a leather jacket and sunglasses helps him out in that regard, while the fisherman, I can't remember his name. It just feels like kind of generic fisherman guy, right? Other than that, all the kits that I've played so far, or like the kits of the operators I've played so far, have felt very fun. It felt like team building was pretty easy and also rewarding in that regard, where like it was easy to put together a team and have them be able to do what I wanted, just because everything's kind of laid out in very understandable terms with their kits, which was very, very nice. Speaking of the operator kits, the combat. It's fantastic. I love it. The long pause, I guess. But no, I felt at first the exclusion of a strong attack was a little weird, at least playing through the tutorial with only the Enmin and Perlica, where there wasn't too much going on. It felt kind of slower, and I felt like a strong attack might have helped give me a little more to do in combat, or like a little more decision making in combat, which would have been nice. But when I actually got like a full 4-character team and I built a proper team and got them kitted out and upgraded, it felt really fun. Like, there's always something to do. Either it's a combo skill, or there's like your regular skills, and managing the SP gauge is great. There's obviously the perfect dodging. It feels a lot more dynamic with 4 characters on the field. And it just all flows together very well. I've recorded this part in particular, like, I think 7-8 times now, and I have been having difficulty, like, putting into words, like, how just fluid and dynamic the combat feels and how nice it feels to actually play. The factory. The factory is also fantastic. I, myself, might have a little case of the smooth brain, because all of my designs, half of my designs end up being spaghetti until I take my time to go back and actually like get my ratios and everything right. But I think the factory system, specifically the blueprint system, is like its implementation is great, where with the factory you can appeal to those players who obviously like the factory. There's a lot of stuff going around on Twitter and on Reddit of just people talking about the factory and sharing and posting their builds. And it's great. I love seeing all that. And then for those who don't want to necessarily engage with the factory, they do have the option of just using those blueprints, or ones that the developers made, to put in their factory instead. So they're not necessarily punished for not engaging with one of the core systems. And I think that's just a really nice implementation of something that isn't really player hostile. It's more just, or it's not player hostile in the sense of not engaging with the factory to the extent of the min-maxer community isn't going to necessarily handicap you in the long run, which I think is just a great implementation. Other than that, yeah, no, I like the factory a lot. It's nice. I think with Wu Ling, adding fluid mechanics was a nice change of pace, because like just raw belt management got a little tiring after a while. But yeah, that's just me. The economy. I could invite a lot of discussion about the economy. There's been a lot of doom posting and a lot of like discussion about the economy, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Not including any bonuses from chests or anything like that. You make 1,900 ore barrel a week off of daily and weekly missions, compared to Arknights, where you make about 3,000 a week off of your dailies, your weeklies, and Annihilation. So that translates in original Arknights to about a pull every 2 weeks, or 10 pull every 2 weeks, versus Endfield is going to be a 10 pull every about 3 weeks, occasionally 2. So obviously it does fall a bit short compared to the original Arknights, but I feel like Etch Space Salvage is supposed to be kind of the Annihilation equivalent. Right now, at least, it's saying it's a permanent event, and there's like no indication that it's a reset. But it seems to me like they are going to go the route of resetting Etch Space every so often, because it doesn't really make sense for it to have a reward path and a weekly mission menu otherwise, right? So in the future, I feel like it'll kind of balance out a little more with Etch Space Salvage, assuming it does go the route of becoming like a sort of like a monthly basis thing, right? That's about it for my thoughts. Actually, that was a lot shorter than I thought. I'm only at 12 minutes of recording audio, and I'm sure I'm going to clip some of that. So the future, I guess both for this channel and for Endfield, or I guess vice versa. Whatever. I'm going Ramblecore now. Let's go. So the future with Endfield, I'm excited for, I guess, mostly the characters and to see where the story goes. Because there's a lot of theories that I've been spitballing with one of my friends about what the hell is going on. And I'll probably make another video about that. Speaking of other videos, I kind of dropped off the face of the earth there, didn't I? I have a video from, if I pull it up, it's probably like 2 years old. I think I posted it right after one of the... I'm pulling it up now. I posted it after, I think, the gameplay reveal, right? And it's about 2 years old. Gameplay demo 3 thoughts. Published December 16th, 2024. It has been 2 years and a month and a half since I posted that. So yeah, I do want to talk more about Endfield. I do want to make more content about Endfield. I feel like it's a hard feeling to describe, because I've enjoyed Arknights for so long, and I've always wanted to make content about it, but I feel like I have nothing to add to the discussion, where I don't really do any sort of niche night comps. I don't do anything particularly special with Arknights that I think it would warrant me, like, throwing my voice out there with it, because it would just be like, oh, I like using this operator for X, Y, and Z, and stuff like that, right? Versus Endfield, I think I have more of a... Ooh, what's the word? With Endfield, I think I have more of a... Not a platform. What? I can't think of the word. With Endfield, I have more of a voice with this. It's more geared towards games I typically play. It's sort of more at my wheelhouse where, you know, I know what's going on a little more than, like, the original Arknights. Whereas, like, with a strategic tower defense, I kind of just go into it and I don't know. Once again, Ramblecore video. Long story short, I think I'm going to stick around with Endfield. I'm going to make more stuff about it. If you guys want to join me with making stuff while I try to find my footing, there's a subscribe button. You can hit it. It's cool. You can always subscribe if you end up hating me later. I won't blame you for that. Yeah. I guess that's how I end the video, by rambling. I'm going to probably stop recording now because I am under a blanket to get slightly nicer audio and I'm dying.